Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
Right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And if you watched last week's episode, you'll know this episode is about 68.
Yes.
Our time going to see them. Who was opening for 68 for this show?
The Homeless Gospel Choir and the Callous Daoboys.
The show was at Cobra Lounge here in Chicago. Ticket prices, real quick, for this were $24.72. No fees, no tax, because this was done through the Dice app. I've used them once before. Oh, yeah, Poison the Well.
Oh, yeah.
We saw Poison the Well. I also bought tickets to K-Flay that I couldn't go to because you were coming back from Ireland, and they'd be upset if I
showed up and you're not here.
Yeah. So I resold my shows back through the Dice app, which I think I had to buy anyway on the secondary market through them. Really cool app, really cool distributor for tickets because if the show sells out, fans can resell their ticket for the exact same price they bought it for.
Yeah.
No money more, no money less. And other fans just join a wait list. And as tickets come available, hey, you're next in the queue. You want to buy these tickets? You have like an hour or something to buy them after you get notified.
That's how we bought the Poison the Well tickets.
Exactly, yep.
So we were on the wait list and tickets came available. So
this one we bought ahead of time when they went on sale right away, but this was a sold out show as well.
Yeah.
But just quickly about Dice, I did love that about Dice. I love this distributor so much.
Yeah, I was saying as we were walking from Kuma's Corner to Cobra Lounge that I was like, oh, every ticket distributor would do that. And then you made the point of the Live Nation makes money on both ends, so they don't care what you sell your tickets for. But
because they're getting a cut of the fee.
Yeah,
and I think they even take a cut of the sell itself.
Yeah. But I was just saying like, oh, that way you stop scalpers from buying tickets that they're not going to use and selling them for an outrageous price.
Yeah, but as we said, for some distributors, Live Nation and Ticketmaster, it doesn't benefit them. They make money off of the resellers, and that's what they want to do is
on
make
both
money.
sides. Yeah.
As I said, this was at Cobra Lounge. Not far from the venue is Kuma's, which we got to do our old tradition of go to Kuma's before going to a show. Used to be the thing we did every time. Whenever we went to a live show, we'd go to Kuma's ahead of time and then go see the live show.
Yeah, but when you go to 50 shows a year, you can't go to Kuma's every time.
Also that, but it's nice that you can make it work when you can.
Yeah.
It's definitely the West Loop Kuma's that we went to, and that fucking place sucks so bad. The food's great. It's just always understaffed, and I don't understand that. It's in a weird part of town. It definitely doesn't fit the vibe of that town, I feel like, personally.
That part, yeah.
It's just the most convenient for us, and a few blocks away is like a 10, 15-minute walk.
Yeah, like 15 minutes maybe. Yeah.
So we went and checked out. It sucked, but whatever. It is what it is. We're going to have to probably stop going to that location, unfortunately. But at least we got to do that. An old tradition of going to Kuma's ahead of time. I
think we have an episode that we posted in 2022 about like our concert traditions, and that was one of them. Is like we always go to Kuma's.
We haven't done it in a long time.
No.
So it was fun to go and do.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to do it. But looking back on it, Cobra Lounge is also attached to El Rise, I believe, or All Rise.
All Rise, yeah.
Is the brewery. Really the same one-on-one. Cobra Lounge, All Rise Brewing is the same, but they have a kitchen. It would have been better probably just to go get food there and then go check out the show.
Yeah, next time maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if we have a show there coming up, but
I don't think we do. I think this might be our last one so far this year.
So far, I mean, it's only March, so.
But then again, the first show we saw that we brought this up was Poison the Well. That was January, I believe.
Yeah.
The first show of the year, actually, I think.
No.
Yeah. First show of this year.
Oh, it was.
January 13th.
Yes, it was the first show this year.
Cold as shit, like negative 30. We had a big snowstorm come in the day before. Cold as shit. It was kind of chilly in the venue, but also kind of pleasant. Because,
I wore my coat the whole time.
Did you?
Yeah.
I can't remember, honestly.
Yeah. I remember wearing my coat the whole time. Like, at first I was kind of upset that they didn't have coat check, but then I was like, I never took my coat off, so I was glad that I had it. And I wear long sleeves in the wintertime, so I always have.
You wear long sleeves all the time.
Not in August.
Anywho, this show in the middle of March 25th, March 26th, whenever the fuck it was. It was just yesterday,
25th.
March 25th.
Yeah.
Unseasonably warm, 60-degree day. And this time in that venue, it was fucking hot.
Yeah.
So goddamn hot in this venue. It's just a tiny ass little. Like,
it's like a square, like just a small square.
yeah, like tacked onto the side almost. Like it almost seems like an addition that they added. Like we have space, let's throw a little small venue in here.
And it really does almost seem that way because it's like the cobblestone floor and everything. I don't know. It is almost like let's just add on.
Yeah, it's a really cool venue, really small. I do like this. It's tiny as fuck. I don't know how many, like 300, 400 people maybe.
Oh, maybe, probably 400.
Yeah, it's small. It's fun though.
I like it because both times we kind of stood off to the side a little bit, but even this time, I had to use the restroom almost at the end, so we just stood in the back, and it's almost like no matter where you're standing, you can see pretty well.
Yeah.
So I mean, because it is a small venue, so it's like you're still close to the stage, even if you're not close to the stage.
And the night before, we were at the Colors Experience, night 1 for Between the Buried and Me. And that was a sold-out show as well, and it was fucking packed in there. And you wanted to get here a little early to get a decent spot and not just be all the way in the back. So we showed up just after 7, like 7:03.
Yeah, we were one of the first people in there.
Doors opened at 7. We were like right there. Last time we were there for Poison the Well, there was a line already. Like it was packed in there as well. So we showed up early. Nobody fucking there.
No.
So like, we were standing there in the venue and it's hot. You're like, you know what, fuck this. Let's go outside. It's a nice day. Let's just hang out on their little patio area. Got a few drinks, sort of hung out and chatted and whatnot. A lot of people were out there doing that. While we're out there, the night before, a guy at the end of the show walks up to us and hands us these stickers that he made for, I'm assuming he made for Between the Buried and Me. Like, hey, I'm a fan of them. You're a fan of them or a fan of music or whoever. Here's some stickers. Have fucking fun. Thanks for coming out type thing. Sitting there having our drinks, and these 2 women walk up, and they're like, are you here for the show? I'm like, yep. They hand us these bracelets they made.
Yeah. They're like Swiftie bracelets.
Yeah, it was like super fucking cool. So I wore mine the entire time, and then I looked down, and it's the Guilt Buffet. I had no fucking clue what that was talking about.
No, yeah. Mine says Homeless Gospel Choir, so
mine
makes sense.
Obvious. Yeah.
Mine makes sense, yeah.
I was just looking at the colors, and mine's like this orange and green, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I could go for like a black and red or black and yellow or just red and something. Yeah. But they said there were free ones still up at the merch table if you wanted. Go check that out.
Yeah.
But they were walking around handing out shit. That's 2 nights in a row that just fans made shit for a band they loved, and they just went out and handed it out to other fans. Like, that was so fucking cool.
It's fantastic. I think we ended like last week's episode like, hey, you might end up getting some free shit. And I was like, not from us.
Yeah,
not that we don't want to do it. It's we have no time to do it.
But I mean, it really brought back boat vibes because everybody on the Headbangers boat was not everybody. A lot of people were hiding like little knickknacks. Like we came back like a bunch of little duckies and mushrooms and shit.
Or you walk down a hallway and somebody has them on their door or something.
Yeah. Other people were buying T-shirts, or they bought the wrong shirt size, and they just like.
Did they really buy the wrong shirt size?
I don't know.
Just like gift it.
It doesn't matter really. It's more of like just the idea of, hey, here's the thing. Thanks for enjoying music. Here's a free thing, and enjoy it.
No, I think it's more that than anything else. Is I enjoy live music. You enjoy live music. We're both here, so.
We're here enjoying life together as equals. Like let's just have fun together and celebrate.
Maybe that's the whole Swiftie thing. I've never really got into that, but like the whole bracelet thing with the Swifties, I'm just like, I don't like it. I mean, you see the girls with like bracelets all up. But I think they like trade them and stuff like that.
These women did walk up with
I know they had them all
full of bracelets, and I thought the same thing. I thought like the whole Swiftie thing. Yeah. But
so let's change our mind a little bit.
They gave them all out, I think. And
I think so, yeah.
It was awesome. Just I loved it. It was so fucking awesome. Just to like, here's the thing. Thanks for coming out and enjoying the same thing I enjoy type thing.
Yeah.
But that sort of leads us into the first band. We walked in 5 minutes early. We wanted to get there before it started because the cool thing about, or maybe not the cool thing, I don't know. A thing about Cobra Lounge is behind the bar they have all the like little signs up of this band goes on.
Oh yeah.
So the Homeless Gospel Choir went on at 8 to 8:30. Callous Daoboys went on 8:45 to 9:30, and then 68 went on at 9:45 to end.
They were supposed to.
Right, they were supposed to.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, it's pretty strict schedule. Let's get in there. We have 5 minutes before the Homeless Gospel Choir goes on. We don't know who this is. Let's go check them out. get in there 5 minutes early and there's a guy on stage just doing like a little sound check thing. Like, I just want to do a quick little diddle or diddly or make some noises out of his mouth. And then like the crowd repeats those noises and he just sort of laughs. It's like, I love that. And then went straight into the set.
Yep.
A little early, but I'm glad we went in when we did and got to experience all of that. So
yeah,
perfect timing for us for sure.
Yeah, I was a little confused because I obviously don't know who Homeless Gospel Choir is. And you just kind of stand up there or see some guy standing up there, and I was like, oh, maybe this is like a not roadie,
like a guitar tech
or whatever. And
I thought the same thing,
like,
honestly.
Oh, just trying to get everything settled before the band actually comes out.
I thought the same thing too, because you hear Homeless Gospel Choir, and I'm expecting a band.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of expecting like a bluegrassy sort of. Who's the band we saw? That was. I think they opened for Machine Head. They were like the metal bluegrass.
Oh, right. What were their names? They do Thrashgrass.
Thrashgrass, that's right.
But what was their name? It was the last show of last year.
So the last show of last year?
Yeah,
okay.
2023, last show last year.
Oh, Zach Wilde, that's right.
The Native Howl.
The Native Howl.
Yeah.
So I was expecting kind of like the Native Howl, honestly. When I see the name, the Homeless Gospel Choir, that's what I was expecting.
Okay. I was expecting like maybe I shouldn't have because of the genre of 68 and the Callous Daoboys, but I was like, oh, maybe this is like a satanic band that like dresses up like choir, like they're in the choir with like the robes and everything.
So that's like a Twin Temple type thing?
Yeah. Like, but in like the like the the robes, and then like sing like choir songs, but
for like a satanic sort of.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
That's what when I saw that, that's immediately what I went to, because I didn't look up that. We know the Callous Daoboys and 68. We've seen them before, but I had never heard of them. So,
and we've talked about this too, and we have our own opinions that we go back and forth on. Honestly, of when we see a live show and we're going to see a live show, and there's bands on there we don't know. We don't listen. We try our best not to listen to the music before going to see them. We want our live experience to be our first sort of introduction to this band.
Yeah.
Again, that has its positives and negatives.
I know. Because then you miss out on the like call repeat things, and you miss out on like knowing when the drop's gonna happen or something like that. But
or when they announce like, "Hey, I'm gonna play this song."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh my god, I love that song!" Like that energy you get.
Yeah.
We're just sort of there, like, I'm here to see the crowd and the live performance.
Experience the whole performance, yeah.
And then based on that, it will determine if I go back and listen to your music. Like, I could absolutely hate your fucking music, but the live performance you put on and the crowd experience I have will then bring me back to listen to your music as well as come back to your show again.
I agree with you there.
Versus listening to the music and be like, I absolutely hate this fucking music. I'm not going to go check them out.
Or the music's okay, but your performance really drowned out for me.
But
that's happened a few times for me.
The Homeless Gospel Choir, it's not a band, it's an individual dude.
It could be a band and he's just touring with his.
It could be. The Wikipedia says just him.
Just him. Okay.
So, and him is Derek Zanetti is the individual, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But let's get into the set list. This set list is not from the show we went to. It's from a night before or something in Seattle. Definitely not the complete set list. He doesn't have a whole lot on Setlist FM.
No, I was going to say, because I thought he played a lot more than 6 songs.
Yeah, and he also mentioned that there was one song he only played one other time on that tour, and one song that he played for the very first time on that tour.
Yeah.
Which were all going to come out on his next album.
Yes, which will be a solo album, not under under Homeless Gospel Choir.
Yeah, it's weird, because I think we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But why don't you read us off what we have at least for the set list that we know of?
So what was this from? Seattle, you said. So the first song was Guilt Buffet, Blind Faith, Crazy, Cow People, Depression, and Normal. Which I do know that he played all 6 of those songs.
Did he play all 6 of those?
Yes.
Okay.
But I feel like there was a lot more songs as well.
I do too. The Guilt Buffet and Blind Faith were definitely 1 and 2. I do remember that.
Yes. Yep.
Because they came out with Guilt Buffet and talked about it, and I was like, oh shit, that's my bracelet, Guilt Buffet.
Yeah.
The bracelet makes sense now.
Yeah, and it's basically like eating at the Guilt Buffet, and it's like your family giving you guilt for like who you are or what you've done with your life or whatever.
Yeah, and that was a protest song, I believe.
Yeah, Possibly. I think all 6 of these songs are protest songs.
It was just funny because it was like every time he came out to introduce the song, it was sort of a chat about what the song was about and what it meant. And it was always, this is a protest song. This is a protest song.
See, and again, that's the not knowing the background of the performances. And it's like the crowd really got into that. And, you know, like, especially the people that have seen him multiple times and like all that stuff. It's like, you know, you miss out on that because you don't know anything about the band. But we still had a good time.
Yeah, I had a blast. He was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's almost like seeing a comedian performing music.
Yeah, it's weird. I was trying to figure out what genre of music he would in or what he reminded me of. There were elements of his set and his songs that reminded me so much of the Dresden Dolls and Amanda Palmer.
Okay.
Just sort of like the thematic aspect of what he's going after and what he's trying to like go towards. But then the comedy aspect of it led me to like other bands and other acts that are more comedy driven with their music.
Like?
I don't have good examples.
Okay.
He brought up Bloodhound Gangs. They were a band that he's like, I listened to a lot of Korn and Bloodhound Gangs when I wrote this song, which Bloodhound Gangs are sort of that like the comedy aspect of music. There's a bunch of other people that like write music, like Bo Burnham, I believe. He does Welcome to the Internet.
Okay.
Similar thing, right? Where it's like, I'm going to be funny with my music, but also there's an undertone and sort of a message underneath it that's not just funny.
What was the band that would cover songs but like cover it in like a funny way? Like there's like an Amish song.
Weird Al?
Is it Weird Al?
Yeah, Weird Al does that. He's like, he does the parody, like the Amish Paradise.
Yes, Amish Paradise, yeah.
White and Nerdy.
Yes. So not that it's the same thing because it's totally different where you're not like parodying or doing a parody of a song, but it's like the comedic aspect of the song. So that was probably a bad example, but yeah, I was putting the comedy part into it.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah. I can see that too. Like I definitely get that vibe as well, like the comedy aspect. And the crowd banter and interaction he's doing is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it kind of just rolls right into the song as well. It's not like he's, you know, telling about the song and then he's doodling at the same time.
Or like tuning his guitar while he's doing it. So it's not dead time. It's like, we're here, we're blah, blah, blah. You know, it's, I don't know. I had a fucking blast watching this guy.
Me too.
He brought up that he's been in Chicago several times.
16 times.
First time I've heard of him. I want to go see him again.
I know.
But we brought up the Homeless Gospel Choir and his solo album coming out. The way I understood the way he was sort of depicting it and the way I just quickly looked at Wikipedia is that the Homeless Gospel Choir is his own band. He's the only member of it type thing. But he's going to produce a solo album under his name, Derek Zanetti, where he's going to play bass, drums, guitar, everything himself.
He said that,
it's going to be out later this year, and I'm super excited for that. I want to see him again. It was such a great time, and his energy, his like just vibe, and his like banter with the crowd, and like we were talking about the protest song. He comes up there. I don't think it's one of these songs. Maybe it is. But it was like the love song he did.
Oh, it's not on there because that's one of the
new songs. Is that one of the new ones? Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to play you a love song. And then somebody in the crowd just shouts out to him, is it a protest song? And he like just starts laughing to himself. He's like, of course it's a protest song. Being loved and vulnerable and sharing yourself intimately with somebody is a protest against what is natural and normal. It's fucking awesome. And there was one other song he had. I don't know what one it is. But it was the I hate your music. Your music is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But I want to know you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to know you.
Like we could still be friends even though your music sucks.
Even though you like metal music. Metal music sucks.
Norwegian black metal music.
Those are the banter. He's like, there's lots of music genres out there. There's rock, there's folk, there's Norwegian black metal, Norwegian death metal, Norwegian, like going off on all the Norwegian sub black metal genres.
Yeah. Was that not a dig, but like a joke on metal, how it's like there's 57 genres of metal?
I don't think so. I think it was more of a ding on Norwegian, known as like being like that's to me that's the stereotype of Norwegian.
Oh like, it's like it totally is. Yeah.
Black metal is Norwegian metal.
Yeah. No, because he started with metal, and then he's like, or death metal, or black metal, or Norwegian black metal, like going. So I thought it was just.
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah.
I thought it was just like a joke on metal music having so many genres.
But I mean, that's sort of one of the like reasons we started this, and one of the things we were talking about when we started this podcast was, and even when we open it, of like, we primarily focus on metal music or the things we care about, which is primarily metal music and live music.
Yeah.
Our go-to genre of music is metal for sure, but we venture out to other genres. And
a little bit.
We do shit on some other artists like Taylor Swift. We fucking hate Taylor Swift, but we also recognize that that's just our opinion. We don't like her.
Yeah.
We don't like her music. Don't like her. We don't like her music.
It's just not. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't resonate with us or anything.
Right, but that doesn't mean somebody who likes that music is wrong for liking it. Like, it's your personal flavor, your taste.
Yeah.
Which that song, when he sang it, was the core of the song, right? It's you like what you like, and that's fine. I don't like it, but that shouldn't be a barrier between us knowing each other.
Yeah.
So I love this fucking guy. I love the music. I love the energy. I love the message. Just everything about this. I can't wait to see them again.
Yeah, I want to see him again too. We'll have to, since this isn't our normal genre, we'll have to like add him to like Bands in Town or something like that, so that we get a notification when there is something close. Because otherwise, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna just slip over our heads. Because more than likely it'll be like an opener with some other band, and it's not gonna jump out at us as like, oh, we need it, or this is the person.
Or it's gonna be a small bar show just by themselves type thing.
Yeah.
Possibly Riot Fest. Riot Fest, I've noticed, maybe they've always been doing it. I'm just noticing it, but they do a lot of Riot Fest presents shows.
I think they've done it for a long time.
But I'm getting a lot more emails from them, so I don't know if they're pushing it out or they've always pushed it out. I don't know what it is, but I could see this being one of the Riot Fest presents type shows.
Yeah.
But it does sound like the Homeless Gospel Choir is coming to an end after this particular tour. But Derek Zanetti will be back with his own
music
under his own name,
and still playing these songs because he does own these songs. He did make that a point.
That?
Yeah, he did make that a point. Like, still performing these, but I get to do what I want to do as well.
So maybe there is some aspect there going into the Homeless Gospel Choir. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see him again.
Yeah.
And hear this music again and whatever else they come up with. All right, that brings us to the Callous Daoboys.
Yay!
Why don't you read off the set list?
Did we ever? So you think that this is the first episode that we ever posted was seeing Avatar with Callous Daoboys?
No, this was the first concert we posted on our Instagram.
Oh, okay.
But back then we only posted photos of
the headliners.
Of the headliner. I don't know when we switched, but now we try to do at least one photo from every band, all the openers. So typically it is, if you're an opener, it would be, let's say the typical setup, right, of one band and two openers.
Yes.
So each opener then gets one photo of the 10 max.
Or two or three if we really like you.
Or if I don't have good photos of the headliner, that's mainly what it is.
I don't know. I did the Signs of the Swarm one, and I posted 2 of Signs of the Swarm. So that was my own personal opinion.
Yes. But typically it's one of each of the 2 headliners, which then leaves
openers.
8. Yes.
For 8 for the headliners, yeah.
Yeah, then 8 for the
headliner.
There. We got there eventually. But we do call all of the bands out that we saw in sort of like the @. Again, I don't know if you're supposed to @ people when you do that shit. I don't know how Instagram works.
I think so because I've had a couple bands share, or we've had a couple bands. You do the posts, I do the stories. But I've seen that a couple bands share the post as well. So I think that they do get notified.
I've never seen that. Okay.
Yeah. Just like 2, I think.
Yeah, but that's what I do. Or what we do when we post this. So the Callous Daoboys show that we saw, they were the very first opener for Avatar back in 2022.
July 13th, 2022.
Right, because then we went to Upheaval the very next day or something like that.
July 13th, 2022 is day 0 of COVID.
Yeah, that's when we got COVID for the first time.
Thank you, Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's probably honestly that Yard House restaurant
that
we went to. Anywho,
that was probably it.
Anywho, so day 1.
Yeah.
Anywho, they were the first opener for Avatar. That was the first show post we had on this channel's Instagram.
Yes. Yeah, because we didn't post an episode until October 1st or something like that.
Something like that.
On a podcast episode. It
Yep.
took us a long time to.
Yep, exactly.
But the wheels were moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But why don't you lead off this particular set list that we have?
So the Callous Daoboys opened with Pushing the Pink Envelope, Waco Jesus, Star Baby, Violent Astrology, Designer Shroud of Turin, Flip Flops at a Funeral, Fake Dinosaur Bones, a brief article regarding time loops, and they ended with Blackberry DeLorean.
So the stage for this venue is very small. After the Homeless Gospel Choir got done, I did go to the restroom. I got another beer, and I came back. You sort of stayed in your general spot that we were at.
Yeah.
Met back up with you, and the Callous Daoboys were on stage getting ready and just about to actually start playing. And I think the first thing I did is I tapped you and was like, "Where's the other girl? Or where's the other woman at?" And you're like, "She's over there on guitar." It's like, I thought there was another one on like piano or something. And that was the one thing I remember from the Indiana show that we saw them at the first time where they opened for Avatar is there's a lot of fucking people in this band. And that stage was larger than this stage. And not everybody fit.
Yeah.
The lead singer was
The
down.
vocalist was on the ground, yeah.
Yeah, in between the rail and the stage.
Yeah.
For almost all of the set. So we haven't actually looked back to see if any members have sort of dropped out or
what happened,
left or
what was going
whatnot.
on, yeah.
But I do feel like there were more members in the band.
I thought that there was 9 when we saw them with Avatar, but the picture that I saw on Google was 7, which would have that person or the keyboardist, and then the 6 that were there.
Yep.
But I swear there was like 9.
Yeah, I don't know. There were a lot of fucking people on that stage the first time we saw them. Because I thought it was really cool too because they were doing non-traditional instruments. And they had another violinist, the same woman who was at the first show we saw, I believe, on stage this time as well. But yeah, that was the first thing I noticed. Like, I expected more members in this band based on what I saw last time.
Because I remember, like, we said something about, like, oh my gosh, like, this stage is so small.
Yeah.
Like, how are they all going to fit?
Yep.
I mean, they did well this time compared to last time, but that's why I think that either that or with Avatar, maybe it was like Avatar. So this time, and we'll get to it when we get to 68, but this time they were the only drum kit on the stage. Like, so they had the whole stage basically, minus 68's screens on the 2 sides. But I can't remember if like Avatar's drum kit was set up and stuff.
I can't either. That was with Light the Torch too, right? I believe.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I don't, and I mean, you're the first opener, so you put your shit on stage and you do what you do, right? But yeah, I don't know. That was the first thing I noticed, and you mentioned this too. Like, they did much better this time. I wouldn't say they did much better this time, but I do remember watching the first time we saw them with that Avatar show, and being like, it's fine. It's not quite there for me. They're missing something. This time around, I enjoyed their sets so much more than I did the first time around. Did you have you must have had the same impression?
A little bit, yeah.
You still weren't into it as much.
No, I wasn't into it. I just don't care for it.
Just like the punky aspect of it?
I don't like the punk aspect. I don't think I like punk. I don't know. It was fine. It sounded much better because I remember at Avatar, it almost sounded like everybody was doing their own thing.
See, I felt that same way.
And this time it sounded cohesive as well put together live music.
Yeah.
Where, like, I don't know. See, and I don't know. I'm trying to think back to 2022, but I remember it being like, no, like this person's doing their thing, this person's doing their thing, and it wasn't like coming together. And we never saw the vocalist at Avatar because he was down by the rail, and we were kind of off to the side and backside. I don't know, by the ball pit.
Yeah, the ball pit.
There was lots of kids at that show, and they had like the balloons.
They were doing a ball pit. Yeah, it was really fun.
It was fun, but anyways, so I think the whole show came together more cohesively and sounded better. I think the vocalist did a really good job of engaging the crowd, and everybody was playing their parts well, or like it was coming together so much better. So much better than when we saw them in 2022, in my opinion.
No, I definitely agree with that. Like, that was my thought as well the first time we saw them. Of it sounds like everybody's just doing their own thing, but at the same time, the first time we saw Knocked Loose, I thought the exact same thing, and I didn't enjoy their set we saw the very first time we saw them. Of just like Knocked Loose, it sounded like everybody's on stage like just making fucking noise, and maybe that's just old man me, like fuck you kids and your music. But this time around, and same thing with Knocked Loose. The next time we saw Knocked Loose, I did feel like the sound had a better cohesive aspect to it. And I did feel that way here, that the songs were constructed better. And I don't know if they're the same songs. I don't know. We didn't add them to the set list that year. Because that was when
we were very picky. We were very picky. We were like, nope, you played that one song we don't like, so we're not adding you at all.
Right. This time I did add them to the set list.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Same thing with like Wargasm, right?
Yeah.
I really like Wargasm's live set, their live show. I'm not a big fan of their music when it's recorded. You're a little bit different, I think, where you hear their music and you're like, this isn't bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to see them live again.
I don't want to see No, that's me. Not saying I don't want to see them live. If they come and they're with another band, I will definitely go see them. But it just like Callous Daoboys, if they're with somebody else, I will go see them. But if they're like headlining their own show, I'd be like, no, we can skip it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat, honestly, of if they're coming to town, and even if we don't have anything going on, it's going to be...
we could probably record or edit that night instead.
Right. What else could we do? If there's nothing else I really am wanting to do, then maybe let's go check them out.
Like, maybe if it was like a January, generally there's not very many shows. January and February. So, like, if that's the only thing that comes in those months, then maybe. But
at the same time, I enjoyed this set better. So maybe the third time. Like, it's one of those things that it's just going to keep growing on us over time.
That's true, possibly.
So it's not something I'm completely writing off.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check out again.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what part of the punk aspect that I don't care for, because it's very close to like a metalcore or like a core in some aspects. I just can't put my finger on what it is that I don't care for.
I've always viewed punk and metal as being very, very close
to each other. They are very close, yeah.
But I've always been on that same vein of like, I prefer metal. Punk is one of those things I don't really go down and explore that often.
Yeah.
And not something I enjoy that much, which I don't know why.
Yeah.
Right?
So, nothing against punk music, but I'm almost like, I like mainstream music, but I also want something heavier, so I'm going to go with punk. Instead of going all the way.
That's your interpretation of it?
Yes. That's my interpretation of,
gotcha.
Or it's like kind of the cooler hard music.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's different punk as well, because there's hardcore punk. There's just like punk rock, like that sort of thing. And so, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Maybe I need more exposure to it.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out. But
something just came to mind.
What's that?
What if at some point we try one show a month that's like something besides metal?
We can do that. I'd be fine with that. I would be more open to it than you would be. I know.
I feel like I need to.
Fine with that.
I feel like I need to branch out a little bit more. My problem is, by time, if all the bands sound the same, by time 11 o'clock comes, I'm gonna be like, let's go.
There's that, and there's also, if you have even remotely a bad day, you're gonna be like, I'm not in the mood to do this now. This is gonna be a shit show. This is gonna be fucking garbage. Why am I wasting my time here? It's gonna be shit. Fuck this. Like, that's what your attitude will be like if you have even the slightest of bad days. And by slightest, I mean you could be walking home and a raindrop would fall on you, and it's like, fuck this day. This is bullshit.
I am not that dramatic.
No, you're not. But you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe once a quarter.
Maybe. In any case, I enjoyed the Callous Daoboys much better than I did last time. I thought this energy on stage was fucking awesome. I thought it sounded better. The composition of the songs.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what they played back then. There's definitely some shit that could be intertwined. So maybe it was just an off night or some sort of mixing going on or whatnot. But I did enjoy this set so much more.
Yeah. I think the stage setup for this goes well with the genre, or with the music and with their performance, because at Cobra there's not like a rail. So you basically are right up on the stage. So people were able to I think there was a couple stage divers.
Definitely during 68.
No, there was during, because I remember one of the people who were like, as soon as they said the 2-step or whatever, like she got right in the pit and like started.
Was I going to get like a drink or something?
Oh, you might have been. Yeah.
I
but
thought
she like jumped up and yeah.
Okay. I remember
The guy.
they said like, I thought they did an encore and was like, all right, this is our last song. Oh, he didn't say this was our last song. Or they didn't say this was our last song, but I thought that was their last song. I was like, I'm going to beat the rush to the bathroom in the bar. Yeah. I'm going to go now. And it turns out I was 2 songs too early.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, because during that you did miss that the vocalist went, so he jumped in the crowd twice.
I saw once that
yeah,
he did.
so once and like basically like crowd surfed back to the stage, whatever. But then when you left, he did it again and the guitarist came up behind him to like kind of push him, you know, like kind of playfully. But I don't know what happened, if he slipped or what, but they like both fell into the crowd. And I'm pretty sure he did something to his guitar because he was pretty much like down on the ground, like messing with something for the remainder of the song, basically. And then he stood up at the end. But
yeah, I missed that.
I couldn't see what was going on on the stage or on the floor of the stage. But that was kind of, I don't know, fun. I don't know. I don't know how to transition from there. But,
no, it's a live experience.
Yeah, so basically what I was saying is like the venue set up for a band like that is perfect, like in my mind perfect, because there isn't that rail, there isn't, you know, you get up right up to the stage. I feel like this genre of music is really good for that because it's like you get that personal aspect and the crowd's moving, everybody up there is moving around and everything.
It definitely
like
brings a different feel to the show for sure.
Yeah.
And I think we brought this up with Poison the Well the first time we went there, where this was our first time experiencing somebody running onto the side of the stage and jumping off of the front, not like high-fiving the band or waving to the band or anything, just blowing past the band and jumping straight into the crowd from the stage.
Yeah.
First time we've ever seen that or experienced that. And we talked about that during that episode, that's sort of like, don't ever fucking get on stage type thing.
Yeah,
right?
That's what we've seen. Yeah.
Or just even our personal understanding, like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
But different genres of music are, I guess.
They're different, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the show size and everything's just different, yeah.
Yeah, I still feel uncomfortable with people jumping on stage. Like, I don't know. I just, Dimebag and all that, like, no,
I know,
stay the fuck off the stage.
And then reading Randy Blythe's book of what's going on with him or what happened with him in Poland and everything. Yeah, it's just, or not Poland, sorry. What happened with him in the Czech Republic and everything. It's just, it's like a whole... Yeah, just
stay off the fucking stage. Yeah. But again, these bands are like, get on stage, jump off.
Yeah, like,
I don't know. I'm torn. Even though the band says do it, I'm still sort of like, don't fucking do it.
Yeah,
just don't. Anyways,
we're old, so that's why we have those feelings.
Sure, something along those lines. But that brings us to our next and final band, 68.
68.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say we saw them with Avatar as well.
I was gonna say the same too. They were the very first opener for Avatar as well.
Yep.
So we got to see 2 Avatonians, citizens of Avatar Country.
Visitors to Avatar Country.
Visitors of Avatar Country that toured with the king and his entourage.
Yep.
Go out and just, they're coming up on the ranks. They're 68s leading their own tour. Callous Daoboys very soon, I assume, will be out there.
I'm sure they've had their own tour.
Definitely, if they haven't, they're definitely going to soon. Again, not necessarily our music, not something we necessarily enjoy, but the crowd was fucking into them.
Yeah,
their music is getting. Like
I feel like a lot of people were there to see Callous Daoboys.
Yeah,
because it did by the end of the night kind of thin out a lot.
But that's kind of cool that both of these bands, that's sort of the connection, that they both were first openers for one of our favorite bands, Avatar.
Yeah.
So really, really fun. But why don't you tell us what the set list we have for 68 is?
So they started with Distance Between, The Captain Sat, Removed Their Hooks, Removed Their Hats, Death is a Lottery, Nervous Passenger, Bad Bite, This Life is Old, New, Borrowed, and Blue, Track 3, G, Whether Terrified or Unafraid, What You Feed, Nickels and Diamonds, Track 1R.
So if you don't know who 68 is, this is a 2-piece band, a drum and a guitar.
Duet.
Sure.
For tax purposes.
A duet.
Or duo. He said duo.
Did he say duo for tax purposes?
Duo for tax purposes.
Okay, that's funny. Good banter all
Yeah.
night long with him, with the whole band and everything. I guess just the guitar, really. Nico, the drummer, I don't really, he didn't say shit.
No.
He just sort of was there.
Yeah.
Putting on a very good fucking
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
On top of just playing the instrument. Like
Right.
his stage presence and what he's doing on stage and whatnot. Like, he's having fun with it, and it was awesome.
So how it's set up is like the drum kit's here, like at the front of the stage, and then Josh is with his guitar and a mic right in front of him.
Yeah,
so they stand facing each other. So it's not like they're out facing the crowd. They face each other when they perform. But the drum kit, instead of being in the back of the stage, is up front, right in front of the stage, which I like because then you actually get to see the performing of the drums because most of the time for the shows that we see, the drum is in the back. And sometimes
in the back,
so sometimes they'll have a camera or something and it'll show up on screens or whatever, but most of the time the kit's all the way in the back. You only see the front of the drummer unless you're in Slipknot or in Motley Crue and you're
doing some sort of
flips
solo
or something. But anyways, that was a joke, but it did come off very jokey. But so I actually really enjoy the setup because the drum kit is right in front and you get to see all the aspects of it.
So I've never seen, and you definitely have never seen the White Stripes.
Oh, no, I haven't.
And I wonder if their setup was the same. I get a feeling that the White Stripes and Jack White play heavy influence on these two guys.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I get so many similar vibes. And if people ask me to describe what 68 is, I always, like, they're an old school rock kind of sound to them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And it's awesome. I fucking love these guys. The first time we saw them at that Avatar show, they were the first openers, and they set the stage so fucking well for that evening. And then the very next show, or the next band was Dance with the Dead, which was an EDM metal
EDM, yeah.
Melding, like they're playing guitar while doing EDM shit.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Then it was Devin Townsend, his acoustic set. You hated that performance.
I hated that.
I was indifferent, but yeah, it wasn't the greatest. And then it was Avatar Country, their solo, like their first world tour by themselves as headliners.
Yes.
It's not by themselves as headliners. And that's like by far one of my favorite shows we've ever been to. Just the variety of music and the difference of music, and every fucking band was different. Yeah. Every set was different.
Yeah, and almost every time we see Avatar, it's that way where they bring somewhat of a different aspect. I mean, granted, when we saw them in Indianapolis, it was Callous Daoboys, which is punk, and then Light the Torch, which is like rock metal, and then, or kind of new metal.
New metal, yeah.
New metal.
Yeah.
And then, see, we're genreizing things, which is stupid. And then Avatar. So,
no,
I mean,
I do love Avatar shows because of that. They're always bringing so many different things. And like, that was sort of the point, like bringing up the fact that both of these bands open for Avatar is like, you're going to get a weird fucking mix of music when you go to see an Avatar show. And you kind of got a weird fucking mix of music for this show too.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting. And I mean, gosh, this is not about Avatar, but I could see Avatar having Homeless Gospel Choir open for them as well. Yeah. I could totally see that just because of who they are, or like how they set up their show and just who they are. But it also gets you into different types of music.
Exactly.
Like honestly, none of these bands are like, oh my God, I have to go see them. I was interested in seeing 68 because of how they do their show and how it would be different from an opener to a headliner. But it wasn't like, oh my God, I have to see them. I'm going to just enjoy the entire night. Like, I can't wait for the show sort of thing. It was more of like, I'm interested.
I was the exact same way, honestly. I liked we'll get to this. I want to get to this toward the end of the episode, but there's one aspect of the 68 show, especially that first Avatar show, that when I saw that, I was like, holy fucking shit, these guys fucking understand what they're doing. These guys are fucking killers. Like, we'll talk about that toward the end because it fits at the end, I think. But that's what got me into it. And then it's like, you're headlining. How is this going to be different? How is your show going to change?
Right, yeah. Or is it going to change?
Right. But same thing when we talked about that show with them where it's 68, which is an old school rock sound. Then you get EDM metal sort of melding. Then you get Devin Townsend, which is an acoustic set. I haven't listened to his other shit. People love fucking Devin Townsend.
I know.
That first acoustic set, that's the first experience with him. I haven't checked him out since. I did not enjoy that. Also, I hated the fucker in the back who kept yelling at Devin Townsend.
Yeah,
I didn't like his music.
I don't like that. Like, just let them perform. It's gonna be 45 minutes. Just let them perform.
If you're not into it, shut the fuck up or go get a beer or something.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh.
heckle. Well, the camera died,
Yep,
and
like
that's
always.
probably fine because I was rambling anyway. Essentially, what I was trying to say is like,
What were you saying?
I was trying to compare this particular show to the first time we saw 68, the Avatar show, where like that show, such a wide range of music and variety. This very similar wide range of music and variety, and I love when bands do that, and it kind of forces people to be exposed to other music if you show up in time. And a lot of people showed up early to just check out all these bands, and it was awesome that they did.
I feel like more and more people are doing that, where they're coming earlier to shows, so like checking out all the bands instead of showing up just for the headliner.
They are. I definitely get that vibe too, which is awesome, but also kind of pisses me off because it means we need to show up earlier to get decent spots.
I know.
It used to be we would show up, there'd be nobody there for the opener. We can sit there, get a good view for them, experience it, go get a drink, come back, and still have a good spot because people still weren't there.
And be in that spot for the rest of the night or something,
Now motherfuckers are showing up for music, which is awesome. Which is fucking awesome. Come out and check out the bands. But you're fucking up my routine here, folks.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... No. But I love it. All in all, I do love it. And it was awesome to see this night as well. And it was awesome to see that 68 sort of... I don't know if they're mimicking it or what, but... It's the same sort of pattern of here's similar yet different music and genres and whatnot. It's all sort of in that punk realm. Like I think the Homeless Gospel Choir is classified as like folk punk.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
But he kept calling himself a punk, right? Like you're not gonna be normal because you're a punk. Yeah. Like this is his song, right? But the folky aspect of it. So. And then you go straight to punk, and then you go to this old school sort of rock sort of sound. It's really awesome that everything is so close yet so different at the same time. Again, rambled there a little bit more, but
I'll see how I cut that with the ramble at the beginning and ramble there.
I loved it. I love this set, like the setup of these bands, all the bands, but focusing on 68 a little bit more. We talked about already how fucking hot it was in there. And it's 60 degrees. Yeah. Again, it was a 90-degree swing from -30 to 60.
Yeah, between January and here. Yeah.
But this is fucking March.
I know.
Imagine July,
when
August,
we left,
September.
we were like, we need to really watch because in, like August or September, like that venue would be scorching.
It's got to be. There's got to have some sort of air or something pumping, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like they opened the door and it felt nice.
Yes.
Like have this cool breeze coming in to cool it down.
Yeah. But there must be like a noise ordinance or whatever because they didn't have the door open. Otherwise, you would have the door open the whole time. Because I know sometimes at Aragon, they have the door open. And it's really nice because otherwise it gets so hot in there too.
Yeah. And I did see Nico every now and then like get up from his kit and just like, I'm going to walk outside out that side door.
Yeah.
And he'd be out there for a couple of seconds or so.
And Josh is just like completely dressed. They wear suits. Like with tie and everything,
bow tie,
and Josh was just like soaked in sweat when he took his jacket off.
Nico took his off like almost right away.
Yes.
And then Josh kept his on for like at least one more song, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? This is fucking insane."
Yeah.
But he did take his off, and it was fucking drenched. All the way through. I like the aesthetic of the suit aspect.
I do too. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of cool. It goes with the vibe of the band for sure.
I do have to say though, when Josh was, I don't even know if it was when he took his suit jacket off. I think it was, and then he like undid his tie, and like he went back to the back, I think just to get water or something. And I was like, oh my God, is this guy gonna have a heart attack? Like, just because like he was so red, he was so sweaty, he was undoing his tie, and I guess when like I think of like people undoing their tie, it's like, I can't breathe. I need, But I think he was just like trying to. Yeah. I mean, when you're in a button-down white, shirt to your wrists and everything, I mean, it's too hot.
Yeah. No, for sure. I did like the crowd banter he had was fucking awesome as well.
They need to move on, so just one clap.
Right. Yeah. We only have so much time. We want to play as many songs as we can. So from now on, just do one clap.
Yeah.
And just running with that all night long of like. the claps are going down. We're averaging like 4 claps at most.
I think he said 14.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
But we still need to get down to that 1 clap, folks.
Yeah.
And then somebody would just do like 1 clap.
He's like, not now.
Right. No, you just wasted a clap. Great fucking crowd banter.
It is fun.
Good energy.
Yeah. I liked, he does, at some point, there is an intermission. And I'm not sure if it was before, I think it was after the intermission. Well, the intermission's literally like, they just go outside and it's like, we'll be right back after these messages. And I don't remember what the video.
Oh, it was buy merch, buy shirts.
Oh, buy
you
shirts.
look so much cooler with the merch.
Yeah, yeah.
Which they then come back out and they're like, if you're a fan of numbers on your shirts, we're the band
for you. And that's when he's like, oh, or the duo or whatever for tax purposes. Yeah. So, but there was a point where he was like, everything we do up here is us playing, us performing. So and then he showed like how you could do a guitar loop to like have multiple guitar sounds. And then obviously Nico's playing the drums. You can see it right in front of your face that he's playing the drums or whatever. And he's like, there is a lot of AI out there, but we're playing live music. And like, whenever you see us, it will be live music. And I just love that because it is so true that there's so much that people are performing. And I know I shit on it all the time. I feel like EDM is that way where they're mixing music together, but it's not them performing it. And I know it's a different art style and stuff, but I don't want to go see that. I want to see live performance and not somebody mixing something.
Fair. I can see that. I don't know. I get where you're coming from. I do. But to the looping aspect that you brought in, which it might tie into the thing I alluded to earlier toward the end of that I want to talk about toward the end of their set, is the first time we saw them with Avatar, they were the first opening band, right?
Yes.
And I keep bringing that up because of the way they ended their set. And as an opener, you sort of know your place or your role. And know your place is a weird way and a poor way to say this. Know your. It's like a sports team. Every player on the team, isn't the greatest player ever. Like you have your star players, and then you have your players that are there to support your star players. From a concert going perspective, your star player is your headliner, and then those that are there to help support the headliner are your openers. And your role as an opener is you go out on stage, especially the first opener. Go out on stage, you get 20 fucking minutes. You have 20 minutes to do the best you can to get these motherfuckers on your side. People aren't here to see you, typically.
Normally not, no.
And your job is to just introduce yourself, play your music, put on a great show, and hopefully you'll find new fans. And that's exactly what 68 did the first time we saw them. They came out, they fucking killed it. And then once your 20 minutes are up, you get off the fucking stage. And if you're a young band, you don't have a crew that helps you remove your shit off the stage. That's you taking your shit down. It's you setting your shit up. It's you doing your mic checks, your sound checks. And it's you at the end who are up there on stage wrapping up your chords as quickly as you can because the next band is setting their shit up. We got to keep this fucking machine rolling, folks. Mm-hmm. 68 understood that and understood that that's what they're supposed to do.
I think that's like a meme, like they understood the assignment.
Right, yeah. And they incorporated that into their set where Josh goes up there and he'll play a riff and they'll record it and then do another riff and record that, and it's now looped, right? His guitar riffs. He'll put his guitar down. And then Nico's over there going away at the drums, and then like Josh will like lunge in there and grab like the hi-hat or some shit and take his drum kit away piece by piece. Yeah. And Nico is still there playing fucking the drums, and it fits so well with the loop that's going for the guitar. And the first time I saw that, I was like, holy fucking Christ. These guys, they understand what their role for this particular set is. And they incorporated that into their live set. So there's not this dead time as an audience member of being like, well, now I have to wait and watch you tear your shit down.
Yeah. I think that really made it when we saw them with the Avatar too. Is like, oh, this is a performance a musical performance and a show, because now you have this whole aspect of. And
that's what live music is. It's not just hearing the music live. It's the performance that's put on by the band. Yeah. And if they can put on a great performance, holy shit, that's a good live show. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with them as that first opener and them leading or headlining here, where it's like, are they going to do that here too? Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
That's why I wanted to go see them. Like, how is their opening performance different than a headliner? So I wasn't like, oh my God, I need to go see this band. Like, I can't wait to see this band again. It's more like interested. Like,
I want to see how it's going to be different.
How is it the same or different?
And I can't remember if there was a lot of crowd banter that first time we saw them or not. I feel like there's a lot more possibly here.
I feel like it was almost the same, where it was like kind of a joke in between songs or something like that, but not.
Yeah, I can't honestly remember that. It's been a while. Pre-COVID, so like 4 lifetimes ago.
Oh yeah, so much has happened. We were young kids then.
But like they did it here too, where they tore it down, and they're like, "Oh, that's fucking, that's awesome, that's fun."
So at the end, like I had to pee for like an hour during the entire set, and I should have went in between Callous Daoboys and them starting, but I was like waiting and waiting and waiting. It was just like not ending. Not that I wanted it to end, but I was like, so I told you, I was like, hey, I gotta go out. So we went out and they came back, and like when we came back, that's when they started tearing down the set basically. So yeah,
they did at one point during their set being like, well, who wants to be here for another 3 hours?
Yeah.
And like the crowd roared like, yeah, let's stay here. Yeah. And like, all right, look, we can. It's going to be a lot of this. And just them like playing the same riff and the same drum beat over and over. Yeah. And he's like, it's going to be that for 3 fucking hours. Just that. Nothing more. Just that. But I did feel like the set went on and on and on. And I'm looking at my watch and it's like, it's 11:20.
I know.
They've been playing for 2 hours. What the fuck?
No, they didn't go on until 9:55.
I guess, all right, an hour and a half or an hour 40 minutes.
It was a normal set time.
Yeah, all right. But
it felt really long.
And I was like, are they just going to keep going and going?
Another meme, we are the couple that's like, when a show doesn't start until 8 o'clock and there's 3 bands or 4 bands sometimes, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, there's sometimes I'm like, we can't go see that show.
Yeah, mainly you, not me. I'm fine with being up late. No. But it did feel like it went on forever and ever.
It did,
part of me is like, are they just going to keep on? Are they honestly going to try to do 3 hours and just see who's left? And
see who stays.
4 more people in the audience. Yeah. Because I did feel like it thinned out as it went on. It did,
yeah. I'm interested for Chicago to see, and I don't know if like this show would be it, but like to see like the Metro schedule versus when people start leaving.
Oh, interesting. I wonder.
Because if you think about it, like we went and saw, well, Rammstein was a bad example, but we went to Tinley Park and saw it was the Picnic Festival.
The Lumineers.
Lumineers. And like as soon as they weren't the headliners, but as soon as they were done, we had to go back to get on the train. Yep. And like Rammstein, we ended up taking an Uber home, which was
because we missed the last metro.
Yeah, because we missed the last train. So it's almost the same thing. Like if you go out to the suburbs, you have to. I mean, if you are in the suburbs and you come in on the metro, then you have to leave for that last train.
Yeah, but it was really cool that they
did the same thing. The cat wants to.
It definitely, like, it made me think of an Archer scene where Shirlene's at like Travis County Country Festival or something, and she's like, "Thank you, Travis County. There will be no encore." It's like, yeah, there's gonna be no encore now because the drum kit's already packed up and on the bus or some shit.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great to see the set. Such a great fucking performance. All the bands together. While Callous Daoboys wasn't our go-to thing, it was a great set, great energy from them. Derek Zanetti, fucking great.
I know. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see him again.
All in all, I had a blast this night. It was a great fucking time. I do have one question for you though.
Oh, okay.
When we were standing there waiting for our Uber, I overheard a couple of friends talking to each other, and one guy was saying, "Yeah, I was at the Colors experience last night, and I'm here for this. I'm going to another show tomorrow night, blah, blah, blah." We've ended our last episode for the Colors experience, Colors 1, of asking you, at the end of that show, were you wishing we didn't have 68 tickets and would have rather had Colors 2, the second night, tickets to that, or where were you at mentally or thought-wise? So I want to ask you now, after this show, and that's a really weird way to say it.
That was very hard English for you.
All right, let me should I redo that? Or
No, it's good. So at the end of that show, I think last week's episode, I think I was saying that I had made the joke that I would buy tickets to the Colors Experience, night 2, go see Acacia Strain, and then leave and then come see 68.
Because you really loved Acacia Strain.
I liked them a lot, and I knew I don't really care for Callous Daoboys, and from our previous experience. It may have changed a little bit this time, but that was just based off of our previous experience.
So if you had followed that, you would have missed Callous Daoboys and
Derek Zanetti.
Derek Zanetti.
Yeah. So now that what I know now, because I didn't do that, I'm glad that I didn't do that because of Derek Zanetti. And a little bit different perspective on Callous Daoboys. But what would you have rather done?
I'm kind of the same boat. I wish we would have been able to see night 2 of the Colors experience. I think that whole sort of arrangement or tour style of here's night 1, here's night 2, here's what you can expect type thing, is really fun, really unique. Not everybody's doing that. Metallica's kind of doing it with their M72 tour, right? Night 1, night 2, where it's a unique set. So you can go see one night, but to get the entire experience, the entire show, you kind of have to see both nights to see it from a holistic point of view. And I wish I would have been able to do that for Colors too. But I am also very glad we got to see this show. I had a blast at this show. So many good things to take away. I had a blast. I had so much fun, and I'm glad we got to do it.
Yeah, I'm glad I had both experiences, but
I wish I could have done both, but I'm glad at least I got to do one of them.
Yeah.
And 68, we bought those tickets first, so we were locked into that, and I wasn't going to pass that experience up.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that was a great fucking evening of just live music and new music for us. So Derek Zanetti, new music.
Oh, okay. I was like, we've seen 2 of these bands. I guess when I think of a new music night, it would be like all new.
All new? No.
Some new music.
Some new music, but live music nevertheless, and it was a blast. Go out there, check out live music. It's so fucking awesome, and just find music in general. But live music is really what you need to check out.
Bye.